I'm Jim Check. You're watching Kelowna Now. With me today, Cam Costley of Whitworth Holdings. We're going to talk a little bit about Whitworth Holdings. Well, I already kind of blew that, right? Whitworth Holdings and the property you guys just developed there on Lakeshore there.
Yeah, sure. No, Whitworth Holdings is a 70-year-old Okanagan-based company. Just proud to be sort of a long-term Kelowna
70 years,
company.
that's a long time, yeah.
70 years, yeah, and they're into their third generation. And they're just centered in the Okanagan. Don't want to be anywhere else but the Okanagan. They own office.
Lots of roots here, right?
Yeah, lots of roots, lots of history, and they own office, industrial, retail, residential buildings, and they're kind of developing more. So
yeah, you were telling me before we went on here that the Cannery Row there where B&A is, that's one of their holdings.
Yes, correct. They've owned that for quite some time, since the early 70s, actually, and that building is 128 years old now.
Wow. Lots of history there. So I imagine a lot of Kelownians have eaten in B&A recently, or the bowling alley, or the things that were in there before that.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Flashbacks.
Flashbacks. Everybody's got a high school story about going into flashbacks at some point when they were growing up, but it's no longer that, and it's Nixon Hospitality Group. And it's really interesting to try and take like a 125-year-old building that's not built for retail, which it is today, and renovate it 2 or 3 times, because there's lots of surprises along the way, but you just can't kind of recreate that patina, because if you go into B&A, it's very interesting when you look around, right? Like the patina is fantastic.
Because when it was flashbacks, I think I only went in there once to take a look at it because we were doing some work with them. They got to turn the lights down really low, so you didn't get to see like a lot of like I guess the heritage of the building, but it wasn't actually up to a standard where you want the lights to show it off.
No, it probably moved along for a lot of years, not having lights for good reason. But now you have Lake House in there, and high-end furniture store. Done a fantastic job, sort of repurposing the building from what it was to something that's interesting retail today, and we've renovated everything in that building pretty much all the way to Costin.
Yeah, because I mean that whole area is revitalized though, right? Because if you put in the Water Street towers in there, and then like there's that GSL tower that went in behind Prospera,
yes.
And lots of new development all along Ellis there too, right? So lots of growth in that area, because that, like, if you're in Kelowna 15, 20 years ago, that was pretty like a field and abandoned, half abandoned construction zone too, right?
Yeah, well, you're right. There's all kinds of residential that's come up on Ellis, right? Yeah. Even on the north side of Clement, with One Water and everything. So that area is really coming into its own. And if you think about safety and security downtown, when you have residents living there, there's eyes on the street, 18 to 20 hours a day. It really creates, a place that you want to be. And I give credit to the ownership group of the Cannery Block. There's many times they could have taken the position that they want to create condo towers, cement point tower condo towers, but they've looked at that block and said, the downtown would not be very interesting if it was all just condo towers. Yeah. And they've kept the heritage and the form and the character of that old cannery building in place, just modernized it and repurposed it to some exciting retail concepts.
So we're here today to talk about the property that on Lakeshore that you're quite proud of. Actually, one of the biggest problems in Kelowna lately has been rentals, right? And you guys have built in, we got it on the screen here, you guys have built in what looks like an amazing rental place. And you said prior to that it was, maybe just give us a little history of what's going on there.
Yeah, the Whitworth has owned this site since the early 60s, and we've now done 2 phases of multifamily or residential rental on the site. And it's interesting because we, as a company, have developed industrial and office and retail sites, but it's something really rewarding about building multifamily rental residential, because not everybody who comes to Kelowna can afford to buy. And when they come here looking for a job, they need a place to live, and the vacancy rate is quite low in the market, so it's hard to find good rentals. And it's nice to create, a real quality, amenity-rich area for somebody to call their home and lay their head down at night.
Absolutely, it looks beautiful. Maybe Jason can keep running that, but right across the street from the lake, I take it.
It's 3 minutes to Sarson's Park. I think you know where that is.
Yeah. That's a beautiful beach too.
Yeah, easy walking distance. Yeah. When you kind of get deep into Lower Mission going up to the Upper Mission, there isn't a lot of rental product.
Yeah, for sure. That's mostly all residential kind of owner type properties, right?
Yeah, all the land is quite expensive, and it seems to get gobbled up for single family type stuff. So we took that site.
That's Sarson's Beach right there. Right?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's a very popular beach, and it's not one that a lot of people know about unless you live in that area. It's not one that's high traffic like Gyro or Rotary or something like that.
I like to keep it that way.
So what are people looking at? Are those 1-bedroom suites, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms? So what are the options in there?
Yeah, so the Arbour 2 at 413 in Lakeshore has studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and we have townhomes.
Oh wow! So there's townhomes kind of on the bottom floor, kind of in the.
Yeah, so it's a large parking facility that's surrounded by townhomes, and then a 3-story apartment building comes out of the parking garage, or the roof of the parking garage. So it's unique. Some of the visuals you saw there are the amenities on top of the parking garage, and so we
you can just keep running that, Jason.
Yeah, we opened the site in July 1, completed it. It's always a challenge to get.
So just recently opened July 1.
Correct. Yeah.
And how many people do you have in there? What's the occupancy right now?
We're just pushing 75%.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah. Well, it's good product and good location, right? Like if you're looking
for good family stuff, right?
Yeah. Close to MNP Center, for ice rinks and indoor recreation facilities.
For those that don't know, that was the old CNC Center. So that has changed. So that's the H2O Center. That's the pool, the only 50-meter pool in Kelowna.
Correct, yeah.
And then the H2O Center has water slides, and for anybody who doesn't know, has water slides, a wave pool, and also a river.
Yeah,
it's an amazing facility. Yeah. And then next to it is the CNC, the MNP Center, which was formerly the CNC Center, which has 2 rinks.
Correct.
And 2 soccer pitches.
Everything you could want. I think it's the biggest.
And a library.
And then you got Mission Creek walking trails close by. Micklebrook's not that far away.
Micklebrook, for golf.
Micklebrook, yeah.
Somebody that wants to golf. And the lake is like right there.
It's right there, yeah.
So great family place. And I mean, not to put off any other areas of Kelowna, because they're all great. The Mission is one of the more desirable places to live for families too, right? So there's lots of good schools in that area. Dorothea Walker, Anne McClymont. And OKM is down there too, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, and we're just kind of right in the middle of it all, and we haven't had any issue kind of getting interest in the property. What we did do is we kind of opened up the apartment first, and then the townhomes trailed by a month. So we've just sort of got the townhomes open now, and there's not a lot of townhomes to rent.
No, I would say not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of they call it
mostly stratas that you had to buy, right?
Right, and they call it the missing middle in the rental side of things, whereas you can get very tall apartment buildings and you can get low-rise apartment buildings, but it's usually you're coming in one entrance and up an elevator. There's not a lot of townhouse.
So is that a 2-story townhouse with like about what's the square footage in that?
They're between 880 and 1,000 square feet, and they are 2-bedroom, 2-level.
Yeah. So kind of, is there any garage for that too?
Well, it's unique in the sense that you pull into the parking garage for the apartment building, and you come into your parking stall. And you can walk right in from the parking garage into your townhome.
Oh wow, that's pretty sweet for a rental apartment building. That's pretty.
It gives you a back and a front door.
So you can kind of like do your groceries really easy as opposed to hauling them across the parking lot.
Correct. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's unique.
And talking about groceries, you're smack dab in the middle of 2 grocery stores now. Save On right there on Lakeshore, the one by Rotary or Gyro, and then the new one that's up there on Gordon there now.
In the ponds.
Yeah. So not too far away. You got two big grocery stores. Plus, there's a small market there.
Yes,
right in
Lakeside Market. Right,
and there's
on
Barn Owl and all that
KLO.
stuff. Yeah, so there's lots of little kind of shops in around that area too. Right?
It's true. There's lots of places to kind of eat and dine and shop, and parks and recreation facilities. Even transit service is good in the area.
So 76% occupied already since July. I don't imagine you're going to have too much trouble like filling it out. What is the process for somebody that wants to kind of like find out how, if they can get an apartment there?
Well, they can certainly go to our website at thearborkelowna.com, which you just put up on the screen, and they can register for one of our open houses. We have an open house next Wednesday, the 28th, and also September 7th. And we'll be kind of featuring our townhomes at that open house, and we've got sort of a limited number of them that we would like to kind of do some special deals on and have some incentives.
Nice. Yeah. We haven't heard that word in a while in Kelowna for rentals, right? Incentives. So that's a good thing to hear for rentals, is there's some incentives maybe out there, because there is quite a few rentals coming online now, right?
There's if you look around Orchard Park Mall, just right there's 1,000 rental units, right? When all that construction is complete. And
like on both sides of the street there too, right? Like there's
correct.
The one by the Best Buy kind of right across the street, and then across Springfield there's a bunch that
right on Benbenula, and I think there's another one kind of planned for where the old farmers market used to be.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's why the farmers market had to move then.
Yeah, it's going to be a congested area, but you know what?
Good for a bus stop.
It's good for people who need to rent and need options, right? Yeah. I see, maybe a year or two from now, sort of a more balanced vacancy rate where it's neither a landlord or neither a tenant market. So we'll see.
Or somebody can move if they want to, like upsize or downsize or whatever. If they have another child, maybe they need to get a 3-bedroom as opposed to a 2-bedroom or something. There might be some movement in the city that they can do, right?
Well, and your needs change, right? You change. People get married, they need a 2-bedroom, maybe they have a kid, they need a 3-bedroom, maybe they need a townhouse. So options are good.
What's an elevator pitch for somebody why they should pick the Arbour? Like you said, there's quite a few amenities and stuff like that there.
Well, I think one of the things that we offer is we're pet friendly. So probably 70% of the 70% of the tenants that are occupied in the building have pets. And that creates a real community because pet people like other pet people, and they get to know each other, right? So we have a dog park.
Nice, right there, a dog park.
Right there, yeah. And we have a community garden, which is another amenity I think is really well suited to condos.
We're doing
or
that,
townhomes.
right? Like we're growing some vegetables at home just to eat better, right? To eat healthy, right?
Plus, have you looked at what things cost these days?
Right. And you don't know, the thing about growing your own, you know what you put on it, and you know where it, you know what I mean? Like it's definitely, and I think for us, we have a grandchild with us. It's like when they get to pick it off the tree or ground or whatever it is. It's kind of like more exciting than just pulling it out of a bag, right? So
it totally is, and there's a sense of satisfaction that you grew it. I think it makes it taste better almost. And then you have other people.
Taste better.
You have other people in the community garden who form part of the community. There's nothing like sort of going to at this particular project, just walking down to the community garden and snapping off some romaine lettuce and walking up to your unit, right? So there's that. We have the usual things that I think you need to have these days in rental complexes, the new ones, fitness area, games room, EV chargers, bike rooms, those things.
When I was renting apartments, I didn't get any of that stuff.
Well, one of the things that we did quite unique, and you'll probably relate to this, is that as you walk into the door of your unit, on the right-hand side is a walk-in storage unit right at the front door of your unit, right? Because remember when you rented in the past, if you had storage at all, it was in the bowels of the parkade that you had to get to. And
in a cage or something like that,
Yeah, so we've designed it so that it's right next to your front door of your
apartment. You can put your skis or bike or something like that in there, or snowboard. And
it's kind of self-serving because as the landlord, I don't want them pulling that stuff into the apartment and scarring up the walls, right? So
that makes a lot of sense, right? That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. And so if people come out to this open house, they want to see what the townhomes look like and maybe want to
imagine look at all the prices and stuff like that at the time.
That'll all be there, and there'll be a basket of things from some rent-free to maybe some internet-free for a year or, U-Haul gift cards.
So some incentives for sure.
Nobody likes to have to call their buddy for their truck when they want to move. Nobody likes to move. So.
That's the biggest thing, right? That's why you don't answer the phone when your friend's moving, right?
Yeah. So it's gonna be fun.
There's a park that's being built right now too on Dehart and Gordon, right? A big park is being constructed right now. That road's been kind of under construction there, so that's a huge park that's being built there. So that's not too far away either, right? Because Sarson's Beach and that big park are very close to each other.
Probably 3 to 5 minutes walking distance.
Yeah, so lots around there, like a lot of walking amenities for sure in that area, right? So
correct, yeah.
So I mean, I really, because we live close to that Sarson's Beach, we've gone there a lot, right? It's a very nice beach, actually, right?
There's a sailing club that's right there too.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of that's a nice part of the lake because it kind of like there's a little bit of a jet out there too, and you can kind of see down the lake, down that whatever, down towards Peachland and that, right? So it's very nice. Yeah. Yeah, so that's been great. Anything else you want to share about Whitworth Holdings? Is there something next? You finished that project? I guess that's a big gratifying thing once, like turning the keys over to the tenants, right? Like, here you go, and it's, a lot of pride goes into building something like that too, right?
As anybody who's a developer has built these projects, by the time you get it through the municipal approval process and start building it, it's a 3+ year process to get to the finish line, right? So it's been very gratifying. I think what we like about it is we've given some nice places for people to live, and they're happy to be there, and in a nice area of town. It is a premium area. There's lots of great areas in Kelowna, but Lower Mission is known for
for sure. It's one of the more desirable areas for sure, right? Lots of beaches, and the lake obviously is right there.
Yeah, we have some plans for the future, but I think right now we're kind of focused a little bit on cannery. B&A's got another concept that they're going to roll out here shortly at the cannery, so that'll be their fourth or fifth expansion with us at that site.
Oh wow!
And they're an absolutely amazing group to have as a tenant. So
yeah, they've also got a lot of properties that they're working on. Like in that hospitality group, they've done quite a few things out there, right? So
sure, yeah. They're all going into Vernon now too. So
there you go.
Yeah,
nice. So thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And that's Cam Costley with Whitworth Holdings, and that open house is when again?
It'll be August 28th. That's a Wednesday in the evening from 5 to 8, and then Sunday, September 7th from 10 till 4.
And then the website address, you can pull it up again, Jason?
Is the arborkelowna.com.
There you go. So if you see that logo, then you know you're on the right website. So the arborkelowna.com. Again, the open houses, you can just replay it. You can hear that. And find Cam when you're out there.
I'll be there.
And he'll give you a special incentive.
Yeah. We'll see.
Anyway, maybe I'll show you the way to the beach. We thank you for watching. And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.